Voltaire, November 21, 1694, May 30, 1778, used to be a French writer, essayist, and truth-seeker. He used to be recognized for his wit, satire, and defense of civil liberties. He sought to protect freedom of spiritual and political notion and performed a foremost function in the Enlightenment duration of the 18th century. Love truth, however pardon error. Voltaire was once a prolific writer, producing extra than 20,000 letters and over 2,000 books and pamphlets. Despite strict censorship laws, he regularly risked giant penalties through breaking them and questioning the establishment. Short biography of Voltaire. Voltaire used to be born François-Marie Arouet, in Paris. He used to be trained by using Jesuits at the College Louis le Grand, 1704 to 1711, turning into fluent in Greek, Latin and the most important European languages. His father tried to motivate Voltaire to come to be a lawyer, however Voltaire was once greater involved in turning into a writer. Instead of analyzing to be a lawyer, he started out writing poetry and slight criticisms of the church and state. His humorous, satirical writing made him popular with sections of Paris society, even though they additionally commenced attracting the interest of the censors. In 1726, he was once exiled to England after being concerned in a scuffle with a French nobleman. The nobleman used his wealth to have him arrested, and this would purpose Voltaire to attempt and reform the French judicial system. After this first imprisonment in the Bastilles, he modified his title to Voltaire, signifying his departure from his past. He additionally used several different pen names for the duration of the path of his life. In a bid to break out censorship, Voltaire spent 3 years in England, the place he used to be influenced via British writers, such as William Shakespeare, and additionally the extraordinary political system, which noticed a constitutional monarchy alternatively than an absolute monarchy as in France. He additionally learned from amazing scientists, such as Sir Isaac Newton. Voltaire was once in particular impressed by using the Scottish Enlightenment thinkers, such as Adam Smith and David Hume, announcing once, "We appear to Scotland for all our thoughts of civilization." Although he had lots infrequent with fellow French Enlightenment logician Jean-Jacques Rousseau, the pair regularly disagreed and had a prickly relationship. However, after Rousseau wrote Émile, Vicaire Savoyard, Voltaire presented Rousseau a protected haven due to the fact he favored Rousseau's assault on spiritual hypocrisy. Rousseau regretted now not replying to Voltaire's offer. On returning to France, he wrote letters praising the British machine of authorities and their increased admire for freedom of speech. This enraged the French establishment, and once more he was pressured to flee Paris. Seeking a secure place, Voltaire started a collaboration with Marquise du Châtelet. During this time, Voltaire wrote on Newton's scientific theories and helped to make Newton's thoughts available to a tons wider area of European society. He additionally started out attacking the church's relationship with the state. Voltaire argued for the separation of faith and kingdom and additionally permitting freedom of faith and non-secular tolerance. Voltaire had a blended opinion of the Bible and was once inclined to criticize it. Though now not professing a religion, he believed in God, as account of reason. What is faith? Is it to trust that which is evident? No. It is flawlessly evident to my thinking that there exists a necessary, eternal, supreme, and shrewd being. This is no depend of faith, however of reason. On Catholicism. In a letter to Frederick II, King of Prussia, January 5, 1767, he as soon as wrote, "Ours, religion, is accepted out the most ridiculous, the most absurd, and the most bloodthirsty ever to infect the world." In 1744, Voltaire back to Paris, the place he started a relationship with his niece, Marie-Louise Mignot. They remained collectively till his death. For a quick time, he used to be invited by using Frederick the Great, to Potsdam. Here, Voltaire wrote extra articles of a scientific nature, however later incurred the displeasure of the king as he started out satirizing the abuses of strength inside the state. In 1759, he wrote his best-known work, Candide, ou l'optimisme, Candide, or Optimism. This was once a satire on the philosophy of Leibniz. After a short continued to be in Geneva, he settled for 20 years in Ferney on the French border. In his later life, Voltaire persisted to write and additionally to help persecuted non-secular minorities. He was once visited with the aid of some of the main European intellectuals of the day, such as James Boswell and Adam Smith. In 1778, he died after quickly returning to Paris. Some of his enemies claimed he made a deathbed conversion to Catholicism, however this is disputed. In February of that year, fearing he would die, he wrote, "I die adoring God, loving my friends, now not hating my enemies, and detesting superstition." Voltaire used to be secretly buried earlier than a pronouncement should be made public. 3 years after his death, on 11 July 1791, he was once added again to Paris to be enshrined in the Pantheon. It is stated up to 1 million human beings got here to see Voltaire, now viewed a French hero and forerunner of the French Revolution. Influence of Voltaire. Voltaire revolutionized the artwork of history. He sought to keep away from bias and covered dialogue of social and financial issues, transferring away from dry army accounts. Voltaire argued for an extension of education, hoping larger literacy would free society from ignorance. Voltaire wrote poems and plays, inclusive of 2 epics. Voltaire politicized writing through displaying that even poetry and romance sought to be laced with satire and political polemic. Often it was once oblique criticism that was once most effective. Voltaire used to be a passionate and chronic critic of these in strength who misused their position by attacking the abuses of the absolute monarchy and church. He paved the way for a much less deferential mindset which used to be a full-size underlying purpose of the French Revolution. At a time of non-secular persecution, Voltaire illustrated how spiritual dogmas have been created with the aid of human lack of awareness and led to pointless bloodshed and suffering. Voltaire was once a key parent of the Enlightenment, which sought to use a variety of scientific and literary books to give an explanation for the underlying nature of life. Voltaire believed no one book or dogma ought to provide an explanation for everything. But, proper perception required the use of motive and an open